Hello.
Hi,
Welcome back to Podium Pop. My name is Celine.
and I'm Grace.
And today we are doing an episode doing a recap of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
We are. Before we get into that, make sure you are subscribed on YouTube, following on Spotify, following all of our socials to keep updated on when we're posting.
We post quite a bit on TikTok.
We do.
We also encourage people to follow us on social media because along with posting weekly race recaps as well as general updates on Formula One, we do also have some special episodes that come out as well. We just posted one a couple of days ago. That is a Formula One Academy beginner's guide. So for those special episodes, we definitely want to make sure you're following us so you get a notification when we post those.
Make sure you go listen to the Beginner's Guide on Formula One Academy, too. We give a
Yes.
good breakdown, and we should all be supporting Formula One Academy this year.
Yes, very informative. We did quite a bit of research for it.
Yeah, we did.
And we're super excited to follow that series this year. So let's go ahead and pop the cork and get started on the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix race recap. I think the biggest news for the whole weekend was Carlos's appendix.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, Alex Albon's appendix. Maybe the cycle has come to an end and a new chapter is beginning.
Carlos is taking over.
Carlos is taking over. The earth is renewed. The earth is healing.
We have a new appendix to rely on giving us crazy timelines.
So it already is kind of giving us a bit of a trickle effect already. So it was after FP2, correct?
Yeah.
That Carlos ended up skipping media afterwards and leaving early due to him not feeling well. And then it was announced very early in the morning, very quickly before, like not too far before FP3, that Ollie Behrman would be stepping in for Carlos because he had to get his appendix removed. Update, he is doing fine.
Yeah, Carlos is doing good. He literally went to the race.
Yeah, which is, I don't think he should have done that.
Did you see how slow he was walking?
He's like,
You're going to tear a stitch.
Someone tweeted, sent a picture of Carlos walking slowly like that. It said me leaving the Red Bull garage with the cart snuck up my ass. Because it literally looked like he was walking with a stick up his ass because he just had, I mean, I get why. Like, I get it. But he was walking, like, so tentatively. It was really like, why were you there? Like, go home.
That sent me in a fit of giggles.
It was like,
why did he? Yeah.
And I'm choosing to believe it's because he's stubborn and not because Ferrari's like, you should be here.
No, I think for sure it's because he's stubborn.
Yeah. But yes, so Ollie Behrman stepped in for FP3 in qualifying on Friday, and then he obviously stepped in for the race as well. And he did very well.
He did so good. He also, before stepping in for FP3 in qualifying, qualified pole for the F2 race, and then had to drop out of the F2 race, which obviously, like, he's going to do that no matter what, but...
Right. I mean, obviously, even a pole position Formula 2 is definitely not worth, missing a chance to step into a Formula 1 car. I think there's definitely some things I want to hit on this situation. So one, the cutest thing ever, during the driver's parade, they were interviewing him. Yeah. And he was like, oh, look, I see my team. And they're like, hey, we're on air. And he's like, Laura was team.
Laura was like, Ollie, we're live on air right now.
It was so funny. I don't give a fuck. There's my team.
He's like, hi, team.
And it was really cute. He was waving to him, and they were all cheering him on.
I would like to highlight his nervous father in the garage.
Oh my gosh.
Because I feel like that was literally, obviously his dad is more nervous, but that was literally all of us watching him race.
No, for sure. I'm glad he did good. He ended up, doing FP3, doing good, and then he qualified in 11th, very close to knocking Lewis out of the top 10 spot.
That would have been insane.
Could you imagine what would have happened?
No, that would have been so insane. And the parallels, if he would have, of Liam knocking out Max, and then if he would have knocked out Lewis, that would have been insane.
It would have been insane for sure. I think he's going to do really well once he does get into that Formula One role. Do you think he'd be there? Do you think he'll be there next year?
100%.
Yeah, but what
obviously
team?
we've been talking about Haas a lot because he did the free practices for them last year for the rookie test, and which I agree with this. Someone tweeted and said, after having Ollie debut in a Ferrari and he did that well, putting him in a Haas next year would be criminal.
Yeah. It'd be bad.
Oh God, it'd be so bad. While we're on this topic, though, we got to get some people out of Formula One.
No, honestly, it's so weird to think because, you know, I mean, I became a fan in 2022, so I did have a bit of, turnover, as the corporate girlies call it. I did have a bit of turnover with the drivers, but not a lot, and none of my like super big favorites. And then you became a fan in the 23 season where it's obviously the exact same grid. So it's going to be a bizarre feeling with people like knowing people aren't going to be back next year. But it has to happen. Like,
we need room for these young drivers. Like Liam Lawson should have a seat right now. There should be a good and open, ready seat for Ollie, either like next year or the year after. Yeah, like, there's so many good people. It just makes me mad. I'm gonna be honest.
No, I mean it is true, and honestly, like I could see Liam and Ollie being the people that do come in.
Yeah, for sure.
If only there was, I don't know, another team joining, like a team like Andretti or some other, I don't know, that would create more spots. That's beside the point. But it is like, I get it. Fernando Alonso, amazing driver. Like these people, Nico, Kevin, all of them, like we need some new talent in here that's actually going to challenge these people that are going to be the next Max Verstappen and the next Lewis Hamilton and the next Charles and the next, like, I'm not saying that they have to go, but like there has to be some turnover. There needs to be some room for growth. Yeah. No, honestly, I agree with you. I think they're definitely, I think silly season, a lot of times we just talk about like shifting current drivers, like them go to that team, them go to that team. But I think the conversation needs to be more around which rookies are coming in and where we can fit them in. I think if Ollie was coming in, realistically, I obviously don't want him in a Haas because I want him to be in a better team. I think if I could put him anywhere, realistically, thinking how I want him in like one of the top teams. I would like him at Aston Martin.
Oh yeah.
With Lance.
There's room at Aston. Like
I still think Fernando is going to be going to Red Bull.
Oh,
I just have a feeling. Or maybe Fernando is going to retire. He did talk about it. He referenced it.
Yeah. Well, we have some new stuff with all the Red Bull rumors, which we'll get into that at the end of the episode, but not right now. We're still on our race recap part.
Yeah. But no, I think Ollie did great. I hope he gets a seat next year, if not this year, or if not in 25 and 26.
Yeah. He deserves it.
He does, and he proved that he like literally he has more points than Logan Sargent.
Yeah. He has more points than over half of the grid, and he has more points in the F1 championship than he does in the F2.
Yeah. They were like, oh, you're 10 in the Formula One drivers standings. And he was like, oh, more than F2. Like,
he's like, I'm last in the F2.
Yeah. But, I mean, obviously he'll catch up, and I think he'll do fine in the long run. But, yeah, he definitely deserves a spot. He did great. Everyone's super happy for him. I think the drivers, all the other, like Max and, I know Max and Checo and Charles were all, very talking really, really good about him after the race. Yeah. And Lewis went up and congratulated him. And I know Seb, he said he got I know Seb texted him, and it was a really cute moment where he was like, it's like my hero texted me. It's like,
that's so cute. I love
Yes.
Sebastian Vettel. I need him back in this world in some way or another.
Right. Obviously, like, I don't know if he would. I mean, I would love if he came back as a driver. Us talking about getting like older people out, but
No.
like we're like, but Sebastian Vettel can do whatever he wants.
Sebastian can come back. Come on.
Yeah, but even as like a performance coach or something.
I like team principal. That's like a big feat, but I feel like he'd be a great team principal.
Even like him starting as a team principal in like F2 maybe, and moving up to F1.
Prima.
Yeah.
Actually, I have no clue what their like team looks like. You know, like at the principals and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know, but you know, kind of looking at the race, we'll definitely get into our champagne pops and our champagne problems.
We will.
But you know, hitting the highlights, you know, Lance, he did spin out. He ended up in the wall. It wasn't a horrible crash, thank goodness. It wasn't anything that was like Joe's during FP3.
Yeah.
It was pretty brutal. And then we also know that Nico Hulkenberg, his car lost power, and they had to retire his car as well. And then Pierre Gasly had to retire his car before, well, not before, but like literally like on the third lap. So,
I feel so
that
bad for
I really do. I don't like Alpine.
No, yeah.
But I feel like kind of bad for him.
No, I feel so bad for
like
him.
They are literally the new Haas that like everyone's like, we even want you to do good only because we feel bad for you, and like even if you do a little bit good, it's not really going to affect us, so like do a little good, you know?
Yeah.
Which is sad that it's already like that. It's the second race. Like,
it's so sad. He looked really sad too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Poor Pierre.
I have a rant incoming, and I don't know if you'll have much to respond to this, but I'm going to go ahead and go off for a second.
Okay, pop off, girl.
It's on my beloved Lance.
I'm shocked.
I just am so over people on social media only talking about him when he does bad. That's like, I literally saw a TikTok today, and somebody was like, of course it's always get him out of the seat, his dad owns the team, da-da-da. And they're like, and he just spun into the wall. But then I went and looked back at this person's page, and they didn't want to talk about how he was in P20 last week and made his way all the way back to 10th place in points, or like his other races last year in Vegas or Brazil. And I'm just kind of over it. Yeah, this week it was he made a dumb mistake and he crashed in the wall for 100%.
Right.
But it's just, I don't know, annoying. Like you want to shit on these people all the time.
It is so annoying, and also because, you know, if Danny Ricciardo were to do that, you would not see that same energy. Or even if like, even, you know, I mean, I'm trying to think, like maybe like Nico and Kevin, you would see that energy as well. But like most of the drivers, like say like Lando did that, like no one would be like, oh, Lando made a stupid mistake. They'd be like, oh, like poor Lando probably is really upset about it. Like he can bounce back. Like it's just so different, the energy, and I don't quite understand why people tend to dislike Lance.
I know.
And I mean I get why, like because, you know, his dad owns the team, and it does feel a little like it just feels a little wrong. But it's not, I mean, like, you're saying you wouldn't do the same thing if your dad bought the team and you were like, you're just probably like, great.
Literally.
And it's not like he did it and is like putting in like this total amateur. Like he is a good driver.
Yeah.
He's done impressive things. Like you said last week, he, you know, made up all of those, you know, spots during the race. And then even during qualifying, he'll like randomly like pop up to P2 all the time. And I think, yeah, people just get kind of blinded by the fact that they dislike him because of that reason and don't actually look at how he's not a horrible driver. I mean, he's not the best.
No. Yeah.
But, like, he's not the worst.
I have something else to say. And it goes along with also to Lando as well, and a little bit of Lance and some other drivers. Jenson Button was in Formula One for 6 years before he got his first win. So I really just don't want to hear anybody saying anything.
Yeah. How many years has Lando been in Formula One? He started in what, 2019?
19.
So he's got time.
It's his 6th year or 5th year, 6th year. I can't do math.
His 6th year. We should probably. That was embarrassing, us having to count.
Yeah, for sure.
We wanted to make sure to give accurate information. Yeah, no, I think so. Lance crashed into the wall. Nico was out. Pierre was out. Or not, yeah, Nico was out. Pierre was out. Kevin Magnussen obviously got multiple penalties for being a bit of a chaotic driver this week. Lando almost got a penalty for a jump start. Looking back at it, he probably should have. But he stopped. It's not like he started and kept going early. Yeah. He started, stopped, and then started again. So I think that's why he didn't end up getting the penalty, because it didn't give him any advantage. If anything, it gave him a bit of a disadvantage.
I also saw the sensors, I think, in his car didn't recognize it, so that he got really lucky too with that.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking of Lando,
yep,
Lando is now the only other driver this season to lead laps along with Max.
He was leading for a good couple laps, and I watched this race at a watch party that was held at a
brewery.
Thank you. I can never say that word, so Grace has to say it for me. And it was interesting. It was fun being able to watch with other people that know what's going on versus when me and Grace watch it with other people. It's me and Grace are the only one that really know what's happening.
Were there a lot of people there?
Probably 20-ish, I would say. I mean, our group was 8 of those people.
Yeah. When Lando started leading, I was driving. I was at a red light, and I just all of a sudden started getting a bunch of notifications on my phone from LN4 and McLaren, that he was leading. I was because I wasn't going to look at anything. And I was okay, I have to look. I'm getting so many notifications. Yeah. And it was right after I left my house, too, that he started leading. And I was I should have waited 5 more minutes.
It was really special. I felt on top of the world. I did share my friendship bracelets with the guys at my table.
That's so nice.
Yeah. So
we should make them some.
We really should. I think we should make some. I took them back, though. I didn't give it to them. Absolutely. I made them give it back to me after the race, but I did share it with them.
Did you give somebody the F Alpine one?
I gave it to D because he liked having a cuss word on his friendship bracelet. Yeah. I also gave our friends Matt and Connor, Lando and Oscar. And originally I gave Oscar and Matt, and I gave Lando to Connor, and I made them switch because I was no, that's wrong. You all need to switch those.
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
It should be opposite. But no, the race was really cool. Watching it with a bunch of other fans and getting to talk about more of the strategy wise and oh, what tires do you think, or how many stops do you think they're going to have? Because a lot of the guys that were watching with us have been watching for years. Yeah. So they're definitely knowledgeable about some of the things that I get kind of, but I'm not able to explain it very well.
Yeah.
So it was pretty fun though.
Yeah.
But
the winner was Max.
What?
Spoiler alert.
Max won.
Checo came in second, and Charles got third.
Yeah, Oscar came in fourth. I was really hoping that he would kind of pull out Podium there, but he was just not fast enough.
We need to talk about McLaren's shitty strategy for Lando, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay, so I get why they did what they did. I do get it. There's with a track like this, there's always a chance for a safety car, and for him not pitting, everyone thought that all of the drivers would do another stop.
Yeah.
And they just didn't end up doing it. And that, I think, was a gamble. I think it was a smart gamble. It just didn't pay off.
Yeah, yeah. Did you see the stats? They are so slow compared to everybody else. McLaren.
Oh, yeah.
We are so slow.
But the fact that we're still doing, okay.
Yeah, I'm
just
so
again proves that Lando and Oscar are just amazing drivers, but they definitely need to get the car together. I'm really just crossing my fingers for those upgrades, and I hope that they come either in China or Japan, because it needs to be fixed by Miami, because I will be furious if I go all the way to Miami and they shit the bed.
Yeah. And no, I'll be pissed.
Yeah.
Stella, the team principal for McLaren, said, I think there are just like a few tweaks for Australia, and then hopefully for China and Japan, that's when we'll see more of the some upgrades. So we're keeping our fingers crossed for that.
Yes, we have to. Yeah, I mean, obviously Max winning wasn't a surprise.
Yeah.
Checo coming in second wasn't a huge surprise. I was happy for Charles coming in third.
Too.
Again, I would have preferred Oscar, but I'm happy for Charles coming in third. And honestly, like we were talking about how McLaren is so slow, but they're still like where we want them in like the constructor standings.
Yeah, didn't they pop up to P2?
Well, I don't think they'd be P2. Oh, well.
I think that's what I thought
guess
Lando and Oscar
maybe.
said in their recap video. I could be wrong.
Let me see. It is, yeah. So we're P3. So we have 28 points, and Ferrari has 49 points, and unfortunately Red Bull's already at 87 points.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's not great. Oscar is beating Lando, though, in the Drivers' Championship.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oscar's in 5th.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I really feel like Oscar might. I don't know. It's going to be close between Oscar and Lando.
I'm nervous that once that does happen, and if Oscar gets his first win before Lando, it's going to break him. It's really going to break his spirit, I think, and I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think Oscar wants that to happen either.
I don't think Oscar wants it to happen either. He's
like,
so nice. I think he does need a bit more experience, but I think it could be close this year.
Yeah. It's just, it really is. Like, something's got to give with Max.
Something's got to give. And honestly, I don't think it's going to give until the new regulations for 26.
Yeah. So we're going to be twiddling our thumbs for a while.
Yeah. Good thing we have Formula One Academy and Indycar.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we'll actually talk about both of those. But before we get into that, let's do our champagne pops and our champagne problems. Yeah, so let's start with champagne problems.
Okay.
So what is yours?
Mine was Kevin Magnussen.
Explain.
There's just all these penalties. I just really didn't like that move on Yuki. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it there.
Yeah. Didn't he also like bump Alex too?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. No, he I don't know what was up with him this week. I'm not quite happy with him. But I do think he deserves that champagne problem. My champagne problem, I was initially obviously thinking Lance for, that's hitting into the wall, but that's a little too basic. My champagne problem is actually going to go to Oscar.
Whoa.
And that is because for 20 laps straight, he was stuck behind Lewis, and Lewis had older tires than him. And he should have been able to get around him. There is not really, I mean, there is an excuse, and it was the car. It wasn't him.
Yeah.
But I think that held him up so long. I think he could have been fighting Charles for podium if he wasn't stuck behind Lewis for 20 laps.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that cost him the podium there. So I'm going to give my champagne problem to Oscar. He still ended up in 4th.
Yeah.
But I think that definitely was not great.
Yeah. That's so fair.
Also, another honorary mention.
Yep.
Once again, going to the Stake F1 Kick Sauber team, their pit crew, for once again having the longest pit stop of the race.
Bless their hearts.
This time, not to Valtteri, but to Zhou. I don't know exactly how long it was, but it wasn't as long as last week's.
Yeah.
But 2 weeks in a row having such a long pit stop is not great.
We should, though, give an honorary champagne pop to Joe's mechanics, who just barely got him out to get a qualifying lap after his crash.
That is true.
They worked so hard.
They got him out to do the lap, but he didn't get to do a fast lap. So he literally just went and did an out lap.
Yeah.
And was like, okay, got back in. But no, I think for them to be working literally up until the minute, like if it sucks too, because if they would have finished literally 30 seconds earlier, keep in mind they've been working on it for hours at this point.
Oh my gosh.
And if they would have finished 30 seconds earlier and got him out, he would have been able to complete his out lap in time to start a fast lap.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would have gotten out of Q3 with that or Q1 with that, but at least there was potential. But they definitely do get an honorary mention for a champagne pop.
Yes.
I would say my champagne pop, obviously, is Ollie.
It's Ollie. Yep.
There's no question about it. He
absolutely
did
question.
Amazing. I'm also going to give a champagne pop to Carlos's surgeon.
Yeah, actually.
Getting that appendix out in time.
You know who I'm also going to give a champagne pop to this week? Laura Winters.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Her little speech about women in motorsport on International Women's Day, I cried. There, I said it.
Yeah.
It was so good.
It came at a perfect time, and I think she is a really good representation for women in motorsports, because although she's not a driver, she's very involved, she's very knowledgeable. She's put in like a lot of time and effort into this, and I think it's awesome that she's willing and able to speak up about some of the stuff that's been going on and kind of put things into perspective. And yeah, she definitely deserves a champagne pop this week.
Yeah, love her.
We will move on to Formula One Academy.
Yeah.
Okay. Formula One Academy this week, it was the opening weekend. Their race in Saudi Arabia. Very interesting. But I don't know if they did this on purpose, but the fact that the first race was on International Women's Day just felt right.
It was amazing.
And again, felt very needed.
100%.
I mean, Dorianne came in and absolutely destroyed everyone.
Insane. I love her.
So she basically got both pole positions for both of the races.
She did.
Technically, she won both of the races. Although her win for the second race did end up getting taken away for what I think is a pretty stupid reason.
So harsh. Everybody's saying it's so harsh too.
So basically what happened is she got the checkered flag and continued racing until she did a lap and got the checkered flag again. And she basically did that because she didn't get correct communication from her team saying that the race was over.
Yeah.
And they gave her a penalty for that and took her win away. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's stupid.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, that's a big chunk of points they took away from her.
A huge chunk. And like, it wasn't even like she wasn't doing it on purpose either. It was miscommunication.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's annoying.
Yeah, and it ended up, so now technically the official race winner is Abby Pulley, which I am happy for Abby.
Yeah, me
but
too.
I'm sure Abby didn't want to win that way either.
No, you never do.
Yeah.
She handled it very well on social media too. I'm sure she was like, overly upset about it, which very rightfully so, but she handled it very well on social media.
Yeah. Lewis was there supporting her at the races.
That was cute.
And there was like a video of them hugging and him congratulating her. That was really cute. And it's nice seeing the drivers make an effort to support Formula One Academy. I know Lando and Oscar went to visit Bianca before, I think, qualifying. And you see some of the other, Leah Block was on the, I always forget the name, Team Torque podcast, which is the Williams podcast that Logan and Alex do each week, each race weekend. So she was on there, and it's just good trying, there's obviously still a lot of work, but I think it's nice that they are trying to involve them and get them more ingrained in the team. I know Hamda did a video with Max and Checo, which is really nice. So just seeing seeing them try to get that involvement in was good.
Yeah. I also felt bad for Leah this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're big. Yeah. Everyone, most of the people that we're friends with are all rooting for Leah in Formula One Academy. But I think she has so much potential. I think she's just still getting things worked out with the car, and I think she's gonna do good. I have a feeling. It might be manifestation, but I just have a feeling she'll get a handle on it.
We love to manifest in this space.
We do. Mm-hmm. Anything else to add for Formula One Academy?
I do not have anything else.
Awesome.
Talk about IndyCar?
Yeah, let's keep on chugging.
IndyCar was kind of exciting.
Yeah,
I do think it was
a lot of people were out during the race.
Yeah, poor Marcus Armstrong. That was really so sad to see. And he was like really upset too, like beating himself up. Which I mean, it was totally his fault. He braked too late, I believe it was something with his braking, and he crashed out of the race. Very sad to see that.
Yeah. No, it was a pretty dominant race by Joseph Newgarden. Mm-hmm. He was really channeling his inner Max Verstappen and just completely blew everybody else out of the water. He won by 8 seconds?
I think so.
I think. And actually, so he drives for Team Penske, and Team Penske again also dominated this week. They got first, third, and fourth.
Yeah.
Luckily, second place was taken by Pato for Team Era McLaren. So me and Gracie were very excited about that.
So excited.
Alexander Rossi didn't do too bad. He came in 8th, working his way up from a pretty not a great qualifying on his side, but he did get those positions back and ended up in 8th, which is good. 8th or 7th? I think 8th.
I think you're
Do you remember?
I think it was 8th.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So it was, all in all, a good race. It was an exciting, this is the first race that both Grace and I watched. Yeah. And first IndyCar race that we watched live, or not live, but like live, online. But yeah, we're going to the Indy 500 this year, so we're super excited.
Yeah, just gonna be so excited. Also,
I know.
Real quick, I think Callum got 12th place for Aaron McLaren.
Which is awesome.
Yeah,
the fact that he only had one practice session in, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he did testing for them, for Aaron McLaren in place of David. And then he did all of this stuff this weekend, but since then, he hasn't raced an IndyCar since last year.
Yeah.
He's in WEC right now, but yeah, he did pretty good.
Yeah. I'm excited for him.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if David will be back by the next race or not. It's in a couple weeks, so I don't know.
We have a break next week from racing.
We do.
No Formula One, no Formula One Academy, no IndyCar.
Is there a WEC race we can watch?
I know. What the hell are we going to do?
What are we going to talk about next week?
We'll find some stuff.
I'll pull out all my silly questions I wrote down. That'll just be a fun episode.
Well, if you have any silly questions to send us, definitely DM us on Instagram or TikTok. We'd love to answer some of your silly questions. Eric, I'm talking to you, buddy. Send us some. He's the one that submitted the question on our F1 Beginner's Guide asking about Cane's toast versus slaw.
Yeah.
So definitely go check out that episode if you haven't yet. We have a couple silly questions on there. But definitely send us over any that you all think of.
Yeah, for sure.
Next, we are going to give a very brief recap about the elephant in the room.
Which
Christian Horner.
So much. We're just going to kind of have to rattle off a quick little timeline because there was rumor after rumor, and it was like rumor cleared, another rumor, top rumor cleared. It was like insane.
It's hard to know because basically everything that we are working off of is all not speculation, but all rumors, and none of it's really confirmed. Yeah. And all of it's very kept under wraps, hush hush kind of thing, which I think is definitely an issue. I think there should have been much more transparency in the situation.
We need so much more transparency.
Yes, obviously we want to keep like the victim anonymous and not share any like, personal information or personal details about exactly what happened, but there definitely needed to be more transparency in the investigations that were going on. We talked a little bit about it, but if you didn't see that episode, basically what happened is quite a few weeks ago, which this has been drawn out for a very long time, but quite a few weeks ago, Christian Horner had some allegations against him for sexual misconduct in the workplace. Or it started out as just workplace misconduct and then kind of revealed later on down the line that it was sexual misconduct. Red Bull did an investigation, found that there was nothing that needed disciplinary action for. That Christian kept his job. And then last race weekend during FP2, a file was leaked with a lot of the documents. Well, we don't know if it was actually the documents, but what people say were the documents that the investigation was surrounding.
The text messages.
Interrupt me, Grace, if I'm missing things, because there's a lot.
I was going to say, it was sent to, like, team principals, journalists, like, CEOs. Like, it was sent to, like, very high up people in the paddock. So somebody made this good point. It had to have, whoever sent this had to have been somebody who knew all of these emails.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and
then it was leaked online.
It was leaked online. And there was this, there's so much going on in Red Bull, like Helmut Marko, who is a pretty shitty guy. Yeah. There were rumors that he was the one that leaked it, which again is like, how he can't even probably work an iPhone. Like, how did he leak this stuff?
Have you seen the video of Max literally helping him with his phone? Like, there's no way Helmut leaked this.
No, I mean, he could have been like, "Hey, intern, leak this for me."
100%.
That poor intern, but
also,
so there were rumors that
that's not okay.
Yeah, no, definitely not. So there were rumors that he was the one that leaked it. So then he was possibly going to be suspended from the team. But then Max was like, basically went on to say, if Helmut goes, I go.
Yeah.
And obviously Red Bull can't really afford to lose Max. There were also rumors that Ford were trying to pull out of their contract, but then Ford ended up signing this really big deal with them. So I guess that was a rumor. Yeah. It's just so much information's happening.
Yeah.
There's no clarity on what is real, what is not, what's actually happening. There's rumors now that even came out just this morning.
Just today.
That literally today.
Sunday.
That some of the big stakeholders in the company are reevaluating, Christian not being fired from his position. So there's a chance that Christian could still end up going. At the end of the day, I think it's ridiculous that there was this much. What should have happened is when they first got these allegations, they should have suspended Christian pending investigation, not let him continue in his role. He is way too involved with what is going on. Like, he has too much power in the team.
He does.
That even while this investigation was happening, he still was involved with it. That's literally the most biased investigation that you can do.
Yeah. It's like, he is so powerful in the fact that they were willing to lose, in the rumors we heard, Max, Helmut, and Adrian Newey. Like, that doesn't make sense.
And Ford,
yeah.
As a sponsor. And he definitely should have been suspended pending investigation.
From the
and
right away.
And honestly, Red Bull should have been much more vocal about this. There are rumors that this is the shittiest thing. There are rumors that the person that made the allegations got released from their position.
Yeah.
For what, dishonesty is what they said, because they found that, which is horrible.
Yeah. But they also, if these rumors are true, they paid her full leave. You're not paying someone full leave if they're dishonest in an investigation. You're not doing that.
There's something weird about it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I'm almost glad the conversation is still happening, only because I don't think that if it would have stopped, with Christian keeping his job. I don't think that would have been right.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it's still going on, but Red Bull need to get their shit together.
They do.
And another shitty thing that is happening is a lot of the drivers are not.
No.
I'm actually very furious with quite a few drivers on how they're handling
Big fuck you to all
this.
these drivers, to be honest.
Like,
except for Lewis Hamilton.
Except for Lewis Hamilton. He's a saint, he's an angel, he's an icon.
Yeah.
A lot of these drivers are categorizing all of these rumors and this drama surrounding Red Bull as like noise
and distraction.
I'm looking at you, fucking Daniel Ricciardo.
Are
fuck you.
you kidding me?
This is someone's like life. Like
Yeah.
the sexual misconduct in the workplace is not
Yeah.
something that's just noise.
No.
And for it to be against a, minority group, which in motorsports women are a huge minority group.
Yeah.
And having that power imbalance within a team, like, that's so shitty. And I do want to give a shout out to both James Vowles with Williams,
Yes.
as well as Zach Brown with McLaren.
Yeah.
They both are quite very vocal against Christian Horner and against Red Bull about not kind of having more, information about what's going on and calling for more investigation to be had by the FIA.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to them. But some of the drivers need to make sure that, I don't say I get where they're coming from. I know that in their heads, they are trying to not say something that's going to get them in trouble. But
yeah, and I get the legality of it, but
by them not saying something, it's worse.
If Lewis can, like, you can say something so simple, like what we've been seeing is unacceptable, there needs to be a change.
Yeah.
Like, that, it's so simple. And the thing I hate the most is I saw a lot of people online being like, oh my gosh, these drivers have mothers and daughters and girlfriends and wives. No, they should just care about a human being. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter at all. They should care about a human being, not because they have female influence in their life.
Yeah. It's like such a cop-out thing for that to be said. Like, they can't hate women. They've got a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Newsflash, you can still hate women if you have a girlfriend. It happens quite a bit, actually.
Nico has a daughter. Like, why? Oh my God, why were you saying that? Come on.
Yeah. No, I think that a lot of the drivers probably need to have a bit of a sit-down with their team. And it very well could have been that they just weren't fully prepared for these questions, which they knew they were coming. They should have been prepared for them.
Yeah.
And they panicked and definitely put their foot in their mouths. I don't know. I don't think that they... some of them I have questions about, but I think majority of them don't, believe that that's right. And they definitely don't believe it's right. And I think they definitely think it's wrong that this is still happening in freaking 2024.
Mm-hmm. We hope.
They just we hope. But they just don't quite understand how to articulate that without saying the wrong things. And they should have been more prepared for these questions. It's
good.
No, you go ahead.
I would say Charles handled it pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
He was asked about it first of all, I'm going to go on that next. He was asked about it basically along with, the question of, oh, do you think all this drama in Red Bull is going to cause Ferrari to come on top? And he didn't say anything about Red Bull, and he just talked about Ferrari, which was, really good for him to do. I'm going to say one thing, too. These journalists, they do it on purpose for clicks for their videos, their publications, whatever. They need to stop asking these shitty questions and phrasing them so horribly for clicks and views.
Mm-hmm.
It's, once again, this is a person's life. This is a person who is just dealing with all this right now, and you guys are using it as a way for clicks and views. That is so unacceptable and so ridiculous and just so upsetting to see.
Well, no, and they're always like, do you think that this is going to cause, issues within Red Bull that you all will be able to overtake them? That is not the point. And a lot of fans are saying that online too, being like, oh, maybe this will throw Red Bull off enough.
Yeah.
That is literally not the point at all.
That's the last thing we should be focusing on right now.
The last thing we should be focusing on. I mean, we could talk about this for a long time.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, I think there definitely needs to be further investigation. I hope that the FIA does do further investigation.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that there's just some more. I just think that there needs to be more clarity, and I think there needs to be more people stepping up and talking about how wrong it is that we're having these conversations.
Yeah.
In literally, like, it like I said, it's 2024. Like, why is this still happening?
This should not be happening.
Yeah.
And we're definitely, like, here with the victim and hoping she is doing well and has, like, the resources and everything she needs.
Definitely. So that's that. That's that on that.
That's that on that.
We'll keep you updated if we hear stuff.
Yeah.
We definitely want to make sure that we're giving accurate information, but unfortunately we don't have the full details on things. So if, we definitely get some more concrete stuff coming out and get some details on it, we will make sure to give an update on that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Anything else to add?
I don't think so.
Perfect.
I got all my rants out of the way.
Good.
I had 3. I got them all.
So we will, like I said, we'll have an episode next week still, even though there's not a race. So make sure to tune in for that. Again, send us any questions you want us to answer. The sillier, the better. We love to giggle. We'll giggle about them with you.
We'll giggle about anything.
And make sure you're following us on all of social media. Again, we post quite frequently some random stuff.
Yeah.
So make sure to follow us so you know all those updates coming out.
Yeah. And 64 days until Miami.
Woo! Very excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I need to start getting my outfits together.
I know, me too.
It's going to be here before we know it.
Yeah, actually it really is.
Yep. So
Thanks so much
thank
for
you
watching.
for listening and tune in next week.
Bye.